This is Bruce Judkins. I'm taking a video as I reassemble my UnderDeck system. I would like the Hawks Ridge East board to better understand the components and how this works, these UnderDeck systems. It's May 5th, 2023, and this might end up being 2 videos or something just because of where I'm at in the process, but I want you to see some components. So where I'm looking at is obviously up against the face of the building. That is called a ledger board right up here. These white pieces that you see over that are truly purely decorative. They just turn it white, make it look nicer because you're going to be able to see parts of that as you look up from the ground level. The part above that is an important piece. If you can see here, well, it's hard to see. Let's see if I can zoom in. There is a flashing right up here that's existing on the decks. It goes over the top of that ledger board and comes down on every deck. This component, that white component you see there sticking out, actually slides up under that. And so what happens is all of the rain from above coming down the wall and off of the deck comes through the bottom of these boards here, the deck boards, and up against the wall, they land on this piece of trim that sticks out about 6 inches, and that water is carried out to the drainage system, which I'll get to in a minute. But I just want to show you how that ledger board is protected. Over against this ledger board, which is the side wall, let me back up here, whoops. That's the sidewall there. There is a flashing member up here, but this side gets no trim because it's not exposed. So what you do is apply this weatherproofing over these channels. These channels do 2 things. They hold this piece, which would, if it was full length, that's the arch that carries the water off to each side as it drains through the holes above. Carries the water over here, and there's a gutter system that applies to each of these, which I'll get to later. But I just want you to see what's happening here. There's a lot of airspace up here. There's ventilation all through this thing, so it stays dry. An interesting thing is, see the bottom of the deck boards there? That's what these joists look like before I cleaned them up, and I restained them and waterproofed them just because I wanted to be sure. But that's the condition all of these boards were in before I did this. So make no mistake, there is wear and tear and problems that happen to wood regardless of having an UnderDeck system. On the outside here, this is called a rim joist out here, actually on both the outside dimensions. I'm adding these panels just because it looks nicer. They're white and a lot of that's exposed. If I can pull this forward, you'll see. Sorry about the video here. I want you to see this though. So what I'm adding there is purely decorative. So when you look from the bottom up, you see this white instead of seeing a lot of that brown that's behind it. That's just a benefit. I've added in a little drip cap up here so that, as you can see up here, there's one open joist here at the end. That water comes down, hits this drip cap, comes out here, hits this, and goes down into this gutter. This gutter here is what ties in to the main gutter system and is carried away. So bottom line is, when these are properly installed, and we'll talk about other aspects later, but when they're properly installed, they are carrying away 100% of the water. There is airflow up here because you have all this space up here that's allowing air. It's not anywhere tight or anything. And I'll finish up. I'll show you a little more later when I add in some of the gutter systems. This is part 1, over and out.